it's really good being here with you. It makes me feel like I can still feel passionate about things.
Là, vous avez choisi Isabelle Huppert.
You chose Isabelle Huppert to play this woman who's fascinated by her job.
Joachim Trier.
It wasn't an easy, an obvious choice, perhaps.
Well, I mean, I was just fortunate to have Isabelle want to be in my film. We met at the Stockholm Film Festival a few years ago, and they gave an honorary award to Isabelle. I've been a fan of hers for years. I'm sorry if I come off as a film geek here now, but I've been such a fan. And then we met because I won some award for my last film, Oslo, August 31st. And after that, we stayed in touch, had coffee once in a while, and this part came up. And I thought, we need someone with that presence on screen to be able to play this enigmatic and iconic mother, and I couldn't really see anyone else who could pull that off. So I was fortunate to have her.
Job, who wants to go away. It must be like your life, Isabelle Huppert, because as a passionate actress, you go around the world. There's constant problem, sort of, with your family life, your filming life. Yes, and it resonates, I think, for a lot of people, not just for my life as an actress, but I think anybody who has this cleavage between their private life, their public life, or at least their professional life, should we say. And so she's somebody who's got several lives within her, several people, and she can't reconcile all the people.
Et puis aussi, le film pose le problème
raises
femme
the
qui a un
issue.
regard sur le monde et
She's
sur
got a
ses
point of view
déchirements et
on the
sur ses
world
difficultés et sur
and
ses
its
drames.
difficulties and its
Et
dramas.
voilà, ça finit par peut-être par
it finishes up
rejaillir, par l'atteindre et par lui donner une difficulté
affecting
aussi
her, and she has
à envisager
difficulty
d'une manière sereine
in
sa vie personnelle.
seeing her person by what
Gabriel
she
Byrne, vous
photographs.
êtes
Gabriel Byrne, you're the man who
dans
stays
ce film, dans
behind
tous les sens
in
du
the
terme.
film,
Vous
in all
restez parce que vous
senses
survivez
of the term,
au deuil de
because
votre
you
épouse,
survive
et puis, quand elle part aussi, vous êtes celui qui reste à la
the
maison.
mourning, the death. But as well, you stay at home when she goes off to work.
Yes, well, I think one of the things that the film examines is the notion of identity. What does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a father, a husband? And in really, this is an examination under extreme emotional circumstances. And I think that we're so used to defining the idea of a hero as somebody being very perfect and with almost superhuman powers. This is a flawed man as a heroic man. And for me, it redefined the notion of what it means to be heroic in everyday life, when there is sometimes little recognition of that fact.
Comment vous voyez cet adolescent? Comme
I mean, how do you, Devin, see this teenager? Does he suffer more than others? I mean, he doesn't communicate at all with his father. I mean, how do you see the character, Devin?
Conrad, I think a lot of this, the effects of what happened between not only his mother, but then his relationships between the father and his brother, he kind of keeps that more inside of himself. He doesn't really like to show too much emotion. And throughout the film, you discover different parts about him. And the concept of trusting the family and then, telling the truth, that really kind of sets him off in a way. And at the end, he really needs to let it out. And then he realizes that, he's got to be able to open up to someone. And that's something that he does on his own, within his private life, with it being the online journal and various other things. He's more of a closed person, I think. Likes to keep things to himself. But I think it does really hit harder for Conrad, a little bit more than others, but he doesn't like to show it much.
Right.
native portrait of America, but what was exotic for you in the material or the settings that you were dealing with, the characters?
I don't know. I think, again, going back to being a film fan and growing up watching a lot of American movies that were great at portraying real life. That's, I remember when I grew up, everyone's parents got divorced and suddenly came Kramer versus Kramer or Ordinary People. Or years later when I was a teenager, suddenly we saw a movie like The Breakfast Club that felt relevant to our life. And, that part of American cinema as well was something that I think both Eskil and I have always responded to. A lot of that has emigrated to wonderful TV shows. And when we then thought, we're interested in the big screen, we're interested in the space of cinema, let's try to kidnap those types of stories back and see if we can find a shape, a form, a way of telling it that on the big screen, but still trying to sustain a bit of that tradition. I don't work from a basis of genre, really. We always think that cinema should be as free as possible, as associative as possible, as have the same possibilities as a novel, to move in time, to be about different characters, rather than to obey certain dramaturgical rules at the moment that I think seem to be imposed upon us. I would like to add as well that I think New York is a fantastic city, and we did a lot of exploration. Eskil and myself sat as anthropologists in corners of high school classrooms and observed the kids, and actually discovered that there were modes of representation in America that we don't see so often in American movies either, that we could try to put into our movie. I think the poetry of cinema, if I may be a bit pretentious, often comes from the specific or the naturalist details of things, the discoveries, rather than to always know and have a clear idea of what you want. It's nice to be able to travel, discover, seek something.
Thank you. We have a question in the back again. Yes.
Hello. Comment vous voyez sa future comme réalisateur?
Eh bien, moi, j'avais découvert son cinéma avec Oslo 31, comme beaucoup de gens en France. C'est un film tout à fait extraordinaire. Et voilà, on s'est rencontrés avec Joachim au festival de Stockholm. Et on a continué à se voir et à s'écrire par la suite. Et voilà, j'étais très heureuse quand il m'a proposé de participer à ce film. Alors, c'est pour lui aussi une expérience, je crois, qui était nouvelle, puisque c'est un film qu'on a tourné à New York. Donc c'est un film à la fois européen, mais quand même tourné dans des conditions américaines, avec des acteurs américains, Gabriel, Jesse. Et je crois que ça constituait, au fond, une expérience un peu inédite pour chacun d'entre nous, aussi bien pour les comédiens américains, parce qu'ils tournaient avec un cinéaste norvégien, aussi bien pour moi, parce que j'étais pas dans mon pays. Et voilà, je crois que c'est toujours des expériences très enrichissantes quand on traverse des expériences comme celle-là un peu pour la première fois. Et je crois que c'est un film international, mais vraiment dans le meilleur sens du mot. Il n'y a pas de volontarisme, il y a juste une volonté artistique de la part de Joachim, et de tourner aux États-Unis et de réunir tous ces comédiens, de sorte qu'on se sentait chacun tout à fait à notre place. Comment je vois sa culture? Ah, son futur. Ah, je le vois lointain et grand. Oui, je crois que c'est un très grand metteur en scène. Oui, oui. Il ne l'a prouvé déjà 3 fois.
Yes, I have another question for Mr. Byrne. What was it like growing up as a child with your own father? Your own relationship with your father as the first of 6 children? Mm-hmm. And Devin, what is your relationship like with your father in real life?
I don't know. It's mostly been just my mom and I, but I'm very, very lucky that she is such a strong and capable woman, and she's kind of taken on this dual identity. Forgive me if I start to water. This is kind of... my mom is just incredible, and she's kind of delved into both the mother and father figure in my life. She's always been there for me and incredibly supportive with everything I do, especially something like this, because most of my work is up in New York City, and I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and so this is like we have constant 6-hour drives up to New York City at least once, twice a month, and she's ready, geared up every single time, not complaining about a single thing. She just wants to help me and my younger brother reach our dreams of what we just really love to do. And I don't know how she does it. You're a superhero. You're super mom. I love you.
Well, my father came from the generation of men whose definition of masculinity was silence. You did not express your deep emotional feelings. It was not in the culture. And so therefore, one grew up as a father trying to guess the identity of your own son, and as a son trying to identify who your father actually was. What I do know is that I never listened to my father when I was growing up, but since he died, I can't stop listening to him. You know that meeting I had this morning? Well, Richard was there. You remember Richard, don't you? Well, he's going to be writing this article, and it just reminded me that there was some stuff that you and we just needed to talk about. Can you turn that off? Just put it on pause. Conrad, can you please turn that off?
Get out.
I'm very excited. My grandfather was in competition with the film The Hunt in 1960, and this is the first time for me, so it's a great honor.
Why did you want to go with Joachim Trier? What attracted you to this movie?
Because it was a terrific script, and he's a really wonderful director. And I had seen his first two films, and they were superb. So it was really pretty simple decision.
C'est un grand metteur en scène, c'est un grand cinéaste.
He's a great filmmaker, he's a visionary, and I really wanted to participate in the adventure. When he invited me, I said yes.